There we go. Okay, so the next section is doesn't really come from chapter 2, so we just, oh my god. We're going to tie it into there, and this is all the logic and the reasoning that we're already started. Okay, so let's start off with a conditional statement. And I'm pretty sure you've heard of this. Basically, to make it real quick and simple, it's an if-then statement. Okay, a statement that has if and then in it. Okay, more importantly, it has two parts. There's a part called the hypothesis, and then there's another part called the conclusion. Okay, and then make sure you realize we're going to use if and then. So if I study, then I will make a good grade. That's an example of a conditional statement. Now we're also going to do a symbolic form. Okay, the symbolic form, and this is mostly when it comes to proofs, they use a lot of symbols and variables. It's P, arrow to the right, Q, which that means if P, then Q. Okay, remember P could be anything, Q could be anything. And so we'll do a lot of those. We'll do some that start relating to all the geometry theorems that we're going to go over. Okay, so I have an hypothesis and a conclusion. It's going to have if and then you got the symbolic form. Okay, everybody done writing this up? All right, so let's write down an example. And I kind of just said one a second ago. We can just write one of these. Okay, actually write this top one. Okay? Write this one right here. Okay, you don't need to write that one down. Another one. Okay, so it says if a triangle has 3 acute angles, then the triangle is acute. If you use a weight sandwich, then we're eating fresh. You're going to actually do something like this that when you're going to go look at a couple of ads, and you're going to do the same thing that we just did. Okay? It could be from anything. It could be from McDonald's, it could be from candy, it could be whatever. And popular slogans, you're going to go full and ads, but your logic in class project is going to be. Okay? Anyways, the red parts, both of them highlighted, those are the hypotheses. So I know you want to write that down somewhere from here to here. Notice it doesn't include if. That's your hypothesis. Okay? And then the blue parts, those are your conclusions. So if I give you a statement and I say, write down the hypothesis, you got to be able to know what's that. Okay? Don't include the word if. So the blue part, this part right here, and this part is the conclusion. Alright, so just know where it's located. Alright, everybody got that first example written down? Okay, moving on. The next type of statement, so that's the conditional statement, that's the original. Now, all of these are types of conditional statements. This is going to be called a converse, which again, it's still an if-then statement, but we're doing the converse of another one. And so here's what you do. You take the hypothesis and the conclusion, and you just switch those two. All you do is switch them. So just say switch the hypothesis and conclusion. So the new symbolic form would be, remember which one came first last time? What did we write down? P first, right? So now it's going to be if Q then P. And so the arrow still goes to the right, Q, arrow to the right, and then P. So write the symbolic form 2. Okay, and then you're going to write from that original statement, the one about if the triangle has 3 acute angles, then it is acute. That's not exactly how it was worded. I want you to write the converse of that statement. Yes, that's how you answer. do the example. So the original statement was, if the triangle has three acute angles, then the triangle is acute. So what's the converse going to be? Yeah, that's it. Okay, so write that example down under the converse statement. Just write that new one down. If the triangle is acute, or the triangle is three acute angles. Okay, so I'm going to give you a statement on your quiz and your assignment, and I'm going to say write the converse. That's it. And so the key word to remember for converse is to switch. Okay? All right, so that's the first one. So notice there's still if-then statements. There's still conditional statements. Okay, it's just the converse of another one. Okay, the next one's called inverse. Inverse, and it sounds like converse, and just to give you a heads up, students in the past have mixed up converse and inverse because they sound the same. All right, so this one is what you do over here. Okay, negate the whole thing. So you're going to change the hypothesis and the conclusion by adding the word not. So you're going to add the word not. So you can shorten these up, and you'll remember what it is. You can always shorten these up. Now, let's say the original statement said not to begin with. Well, then what do? Take it out. Don't say not. Don't do a double negative. You know what I'm saying? So take it out if it originally has not. Okay, so here's what the symbolic form looks like. It's a little squiggly line like this. Not key in a room. Not key. So this is the symbolic. Not key, but not key. Okay, if you write this down pretty quickly, you'll see if you can write the inverse of that original statement that we worked with. See if you can write the inverse. I saw two people went to PSN. I'll tell you how many points y'all got. But y'all did good though, because there was only like 4 or 5 freshmen, and then there was a lot of seniors. And so you have the same as a lot of seniors. So down you go. You get 2 points for just. So they already have some points that they can add to any test or quiz or whatever they want to add to. The next one is what? Number 15. What's the one? Okay. So if that was our original statement, what's the inverse going to sound like? There you go. And you can use the word like isn't. Okay, you don't have to say not. Okay, you can use your English vocabulary skills. Okay. But you can say the triangle does not have 3 acute angles, and the triangle is not acute. Okay. All right, good. And there's one more called the contrapositive. Contrapositive. Here's what you do on the contrapositive. You're going to do the inverse of the converse. So basically, you're doing both. Okay? You're doing the inverse of the converse, so you can say the converse of the inverse. Okay? So you're switching and you're adding the word not. So let me give you the symbolic one too. Not Q, and not P. Okay, so as soon as you write that down, see if you can write the contrapositive of that statement again on that last line. Okay, so you just have to memorize these 3 things on how they work, okay? What you do with the converse, with the inverse, and with the contrapositive. Have you worked with these before? No. Okay. Not too difficult. So, tell me how the contrapositive cells of our original statement fit. There you go. So they switch and then you just add more. Oh. That's our you're reading right now, so the assignment on my desk. Alright, got it down, alright? Alright, moving on, here we go. Find it? Law of syllogism. Law of syllogism. Okay, this means that a chain of conditional statements can be combined to ignore the intermediates. Okay, so when you see the example, it'll sound a little bit better. Okay, but you can combine a chain of conditional statements, which it could be more than what we're going to do. It could be like, if this, then this. Well, if that thing that just happened, then this could happen. Well, what if that happens, then this could happen. So it could be a chain, and then that way you can just result from the beginning to the end. So here's the symbolic part. Let's write this part down on the symbolic line. If P, then Q. Okay, so something happens, then this happens. Then there's the statement 2. If Q, then R. So therefore, you can just derive it to from the beginning to the end. Okay, because if P then Q, and then you already said that Q happened, then R can happen. You can jump from there to there, which then you can write that statement down. Okay. Now, again, like I said, it could be a chain. So what if we added a third statement before that one? If R, then S. If S, then T. So then you can just go from the beginning, if E, all the way to T. Alright? So, make sure you get these 3 statements down right here. The symbolic ones. Okay? And then, of course, it's not part of down at the beginning of the noun. Okay? Anybody still copying this one? Okay. So here's an example, okay? They said, if it snows today, then I will wear my gloves. Then statement 2 says, if I wear my gloves, then my fingers get itchy. So then if I give you these 2 statements right here, and I say, use the law of syllogism to come up with one statement, then you should be able to come up with this one right here. Okay? So just write the first 2 and then the third one. So if it snows today, then I will wear my gloves. If I wear my gloves, my fingers will get itchy. Well, if it snows, then what's going to end up happening? Your fingers are going to get itchy because you don't have to wear your gloves. Okay? So you can just go from our original hypothesis all the way to the last conclusion. Remember, they're all hypotheses at the beginning, conclusion at the end. Okay, and we'll relate that to sound as well. This is like possibly an algebra like that.
If it were like A plus B equals C, so like B minus C minus B equals A. Something like that.
That's what it was. And the A was next to the E, and then D was next to the E. What was it called though? You remember the name? Is it community or? Okay, so this one's a little bit longer. This one's called the law of detachment. Okay. All right. It says law of detachment is a form of deductive reasoning, okay, in which two premises in relation to the same subject are examined and come to a reasonable conclusion. The law, you can write short in the subject. The law considers a hypothesis made with regard to a statement and uses deductive reasoning to arrive at your answer. So, maybe just start from here. So, it's pretty clear cut if you look at the examples. It says if P and Q. Well, P's happening. It did. It happened. P happened. Therefore, that has to happen. Okay? So, it's the third statement is true. Alright? If P doesn't happen, then Q is not happening. Okay? So, we'll do an example. Hopefully, that'll help out a little bit. So, but the law considers a hypothesis made with regard to a statement. It is deductive reasoning to find the true answer, which would be the conclusion. It doesn't know. So you negated it. Okay, so just get everybody.
Yeah.
If P then Q, the second statement is P, therefore Q is true. Then you're just saying, like use the example that you gave. If it doesn't snow, then my fingers are big. It didn't snow. That was P. It didn't snow. Therefore, fingers are making itchy. That's true. Okay. Okay, so let's just look at this example right here. If you're a penguin, then you live in the southern hemisphere. You're a penguin, so what must be true? You live in the southern hemisphere, that's all it is, guys. That's all it is. Okay. If you study, then you will make a good grade. You studied, so what does that mean? You should make a good grade. Doesn't apply to everybody.
If you live in the southern hemisphere, you are a penguin.
That's the numbers. Now, we say what doesn't make sense. Our next lesson is gonna be true false statements. Some are true and some are false. All right, come make your assignment on the